Vanishing Legends Network.
Disclaimer: this bonus episode includes many spoilers for the film Sinners. Please do not listen unless you have seen the film. It probably also includes the occasional use of strong language. What it does not include is the good moderating and organization that Chris Kulari normally brings to the table.
What is this? We don't know. It's four boys talking about sinners. Let's see how it goes. Because of the baby, Chris isn't here. So don't expect any kind of organization, cause Ed doesn't know how to prepare. Welcome to the Fang Boy Show. Let's put in our fake fangs in chat. Welcome to the Fang Boy Show. What could be bad about that? We'll see.
Hey everybody, just Ed. Chris has a baby, and as we always talk about this, he's fucking busy. So he didn't see this movie we're about to talk about. He'll probably never see it. I think his movie days are behind him. So I have decided, now that I've bummed everyone out, I've decided to do a special, scared all the time, Sinners Roundtable with what we're calling, I think we're calling ourselves the Fang Boys, right? B-O-I-S. No one's nodding, guys.
I nodded.
Yeah, dude. Fang Boys forever.
I am joined and are making official membership cards for the Fang Boys. All these people are going to have a card. Joined by, I'm just going to go by where you are on my screen. Pat Casey, screenwriter extraordinaire.
Hello.
That's his voice. Josh Miller, screenwriter extraordinaire.
Hey.
That's his voice. Jackson Stewart, screenwriter extraordinaire.
Hi.
That's his voice.
It's a diverse group.
You're really watering down the impact of the word extraordinaire.
I just feel like it's not used enough. I'm pretty sure like fucking Spotify or whatever like reads these and provides the transcript. So if we say extraordinaire 3 times, like, we'll start trending. I don't know how any of this works.
Anyone who's just out there like, I want to listen to something about an extraordinaire, they're going to just stumble across this pod.
Yeah. Spotify's like, I hear you and I got you. And they send them this. So anyway, I brought you guys on because you're all extraordinaires who like horror movies. And Jackson was literally just in our vampire episode. So he knows. He was there when we recorded that episode. The movie Sinners, smash hit. People can't stop talking about it on social media. Big movie. Didn't even fucking exist in a way that we could watch when we recorded that. So it felt weird when I edited the episode to not mention it at all. So I've brought you guys on to talk about the movie because I went to see it and I really liked it. And I can see why people are really into it.
Mm-hmm.
In your proper episode, do you reveal that Jackson is a vampire?
No, but we'd go vampire hunting with Jackson from a Patreon type
You're
thing.
not trying to bust him and hope that he leaves his mic on in the bathroom like the guy in the Jinx.
Jinx, dude. We tried to jinx him. But no, it didn't work because we recorded at night. So I would never have known.
I don't know if I've ever seen Jackson in the day.
Shit, Jackson.
Oh wait, no, you know what we forgot? It's
that?
Sort of a mini 12DD reunion.
Oh wow!
This is
Right,
true.
12 deadly days, baby.
And I definitely saw you during the day on that because you got
It's true.
Pomona.
It's true. You blew it. We didn't blow any covers. We just
Well, all we know is that he wasn't a vampire.
Then.
When you're right, you're
I
right.
see what
That's
cool.
Jackson's trying to do. He's clever.
I mean, that was years ago. And like, does he look any older to you guys?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Wow.
Fuck, man.
He's got his curtain closed
Yeah.
behind him.
It's like a blackout curtain
I see
too.
what's happening here.
Well, this
we'll
is
see.
this is one way to live, and in Jackson's case, it might be forever. But yeah, no. So the 12 Deadly Days, we talk about that in the show pretty regularly. Yeah, Chris Kalari would really round that out, but again, he's not in a position to be on this with us.
He's not in a position to do anything other than raise his child, I think.
No, and write episodes of Scared all the time,
Yeah.
Just burping babies, writing podcasts.
burping out podcasts. So yeah, you guys all had a chance to see this film, this cinematic, extraordinary film, probably made by a filmmaking extraordinaire.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. I think everyone would agree on that one.
I'm sure he would not be pleased that everyone's an extraordinaire.
Well, I guess where do we begin? So tell me first. I guess this is one movie where it's like kind of the only movie I can ask this question, and I'll start with Pat. Like, what format did you see it in?
I just went down and saw it at the Cinemark in just regular 35 millimeter, I
normie
guess.
version.
I went by myself, like pulled a big Con Draper move.
Oh, nice.
But the theater was packed and everyone was into it, and the movie was great.
Yeah.
Very much. I mean, it's so interesting because it is like kind of a classic format. I mean, it was sort of like From Dusk Till Dawn, but with all
that was my immediate comparison as well.
That crossed with like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
As far as literal format, you just saw.
Oh,
digital.
yes, you saw like a digital screening. That's what I meant, by the way, because this movie it's very much promoted on.
There's like 2 different kinds of 70 millimeter. It's crazy.
Yeah, for people at home who don't know. Yeah, this movie is, you can see it in 70 millimeter. You can see it in IMAX. You can see it in a different type of IMAX. You can see it in like traditional, 16:9. So that's why I'm asking everybody.
You can watch it in 1.57.
Yeah,
mixing up the aspect ratios all over the place.
Are there literally different aspect ratios on the different versions?
Kugler, listeners can Google it right now. He has like a YouTube video, right?
That video is bonkers.
All the different ways you can see it and how they are different.
Yeah, that video is fucking bonkers. It is so wild.
I think the one that they're showing at the Vista, there's only like 5 places in the country you could even show that type of print or something.
Yeah. So for people who don't know at home, what Josh is talking about is the director, Ryan Coogler. He has a video of him just in a room somewhere, kind of giving a film class 101, what is film physically presentation of like, this is whatever perf 35 millimeter and this is 70 millimeter, and like shows you the actual strip of film. Then he shows you how the aspect ratios are different on like a whiteboard. Then he shows you like actual images from the movie to be like, well, if you see it here, you're going to see how we framed it for this, and if you see it in IMAX, it will expand, and if it doesn't, and all this crap. So yeah, even part of the marketing, which it doesn't seem like it really, in my opinion, had any marketing other than the internet got excited, is very Barbenheimer situation. And so like even like the longest piece of marketing I saw for it was Ryan Coogler in a room holding film, being like, come see my movie on one of these types of films. And it worked.
It's crazy to have to like frame every shot for all those different aspect ratios.
That's how Coogler
Like I want to see
rolls.
the cut of this where you can see the boom mic in every shot.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I know.
Like one of the old open matte movies
Yeah.
where they have to like block it out.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much.
You can listen to it on an old wax cylinder.
Yeah.
Just all format ever.
The budget was $11 and it was $200 million to like green screen out or like take out all the boom operators and lights and stuff.
No,
So anyways,
advertising for this was super low. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know there were vampires in it. A lot of people I talked to didn't even know Jordan was playing 2 different parts in it, which was the only thing I knew about it initially.
I had no idea, but I also hadn't seen the trailer or anything when I went to see the movie.
I feel like I'd only seen like the TV ad, but I didn't have the volume on, so I didn't know what the movie was at all. Like to me, I was like, oh, it's like some kind of black Western. Like I didn't get the vampire thing at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get into it. Let me just round out so I can. Chris is so much better at this shit than I am. So we got one digital 16:9. Josh, what did you see it in?
I saw it on digital IMAX, like Limax as they call it.
Sure, that's
AMC's, but it was a big
is that
ass
Burbank?
screen.
AMC Burbank?
Burbank.
So I saw that version too. And then Jackson, what'd you see?
That I saw that giant AMC Burbank screen.
Sure. Okay.
where
So
it
we got a
costs
couple of
35,
Limaxes, and
Yeah,
then
the
one,
IMAX.
and then one.
The only real IMAX in LA is the City Walk one.
What about
It's
the Chinese?
not-
I feel like that's some slightly different thing, or maybe they're both. I don't know.
And it's not as big as the one at the Universal City Walk, right?
The Chinese one is fucking huge.
That's really
It is
big.
huge, but again, I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like I've heard people say that about City Walk, which could just be the dimensions of the screen, not even its size. I don't know.
All right, so here's what I know so far. We've all seen the movie. We saw it all sorts of ways, and it sounds like none of us really knew what we were walking in for. In conversations we had with people, they didn't even know the movie existed or what it was about, myself included. I mean, Warner Brothers, I don't know. They're probably spending too much time trying to sell pallets of Warner Brother fucking studio store mouse pads than they are marketing movies. It seems like these days.
But whatever they did, it did work.
Yeah,
like it's hard.
No, they
to
didn't do
criticize
shit.
The marketing for Sinners because it had blown up.
No, I'm saying.
No, I think Ed's saying Coogler worked.
I think Coogler and TikTok got us in seats. Like I drive through this stupid city and I have to look at a million billboards. Usually. We all do. I mean, I don't think you can see anything but movie billboards. And I feel like I saw so little representation of Sinners as billboards.
Yeah.
And
I only
at
saw
all,
the one on
the side. I saw the one on the side of fucking Warner Brothers studio. So that was it. And so I felt like they were just per usual, didn't know it was up. And then, I mean, look at Warner Brothers was also Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
So
no, they were Barbie.
Oh, they were I knew it was one of those two.
Universal was Oppenheimer.
I knew, yes, but you have to understand that Chris Nolan made all of his movies at Warner Brothers for a long time, right? So,
yeah, and then he broke up with them and went to
Universal.
So that's why my brain.
Yeah,
that's why my
those
brain was
studios
there.
are very close together in the
They sure are.
stream of LA.
Especially now when Universal moved right across the street from Warner
Keep
Brothers.
inching closer. That was very weird. If you were ever during the strike, if you were picketing on that one random gate of Universal that's directly across from Warner Brothers.
Oh, I've been on that
you could
gate.
basically
Yeah,
pick at them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Shaking my sign at them.
So it does seem like, and that's the only reason it felt weird not talking about it is because it does seem like the internet built the buzz around this movie. I mean, I was gonna see it a second time before this, and we're talking 3 weeks? It's been out for 3 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, and it's still. You can't get a fucking ticket in like a decent seat.
Yeah, 2.5. This will be its third weekend.
Those are always sold out.
Yeah, it's sold out everywhere. And so that's pretty awesome. So I don't really know the best way into it other than I guess I'll give my hot take first, then we can just talk about it. It's not even a hot take. I left there being like the most interesting part of this fucking movie. I'm sorry, the least interesting part of this fucking movie is the vampire stuff. Like I was completely enthralled by the movie. The vampires show up, I think, after the hour mark, and they don't hang around long. And I was like, it reminds me of that line in Simpsons. I don't remember who's talking, but they were like, told a boring story. And I remember who the other character was. And they're like, pretty good story. Could have used a vampire. It kind of felt like the real life, big budget version of that meme. Of like, this is an amazing, I was so enthralled by the world building and all the characters. And I kind of just thought this was going to be a movie of them trying to open a bar versus the Klan. And then it ended up being a fucking vampire movie. And so, I feel like both work, but I didn't, for a movie that's definitely a vampire movie, it kind of feels like not a vampire movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, the vampires show up, it definitely feels kind of random, but it's like the vampire... I mean, it's a thematically rich movie, and the vampires and the Klan are almost the same thing, right?
No, I'm not getting into the layers there. You're right. There's a lot of metaphor in this film,
but definitely, I mean, Josh and I were talking about that the other day about like if Coogler had explained this movie to us, and I feel like both of us would have been like, why vampires? Yeah, it seems like such a random thing to do a movie about.
Well, then I also saw somebody talking online, it was a dream I had. I think it was someone online, as I wouldn't have been this clever, who was saying that like the lead Klan guy's name is just Hollywood. It's like it's just Hollywood.
The dude who sells them the building.
Yeah, his name is like Harwood or something, and people were saying like that's Hollywood, like taking people of color stories and fucking. And
like exactly the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll cut. Well, this is when we do it like this, I can't cut it.
His name was Dr. Acula.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you shouldn't get that because that's a good point. I mean, that's what the whole movie was about, really, right? It's like Smoke and Stack wanted to have like their own black people space, and the vampires come in to like try and steal their culture and assimilate things, and they just won't like let them have their own thing. Like I feel like the vampires were, I don't know, the record industry, right?
Okay, yes, okay, so that's 100% correct. I just didn't see the Hollywood / Harwood of it all until I think someone said it online. Then I was like, I don't fucking know.
Was Harwood the old dude that shows up at the end who like screwed them over on the land deal?
Yeah, the guy who initially sold them.
Yeah.
That scene fucking slapped.
I mean, that's always an audience pleaser. Just like mow down some Klan guys. Everyone can enjoy that.
And I was like the whole movie, I'm like, where's that cool shot of Michael Jordan with his Tommy gun
coming toward the camera
ads?
with the Tommy gun?
Oh, was that in the trailer?
Yeah. Well, because I remember I mean, just like Josh said, waiting the entire movie. I'm like, when is he going to be shooting the Tommy gun into the camera? Because that was like my main image I associated with this movie.
Which is weird because it's a decidedly daytime event. So you must be like, he's not shooting it at a vampire, presumably.
Well, I mean, that was a really nice.
That far when I was watching the movie, but
that was a really nice way to. I mean, at least for me, like I sort of knew it was vampires, but it was like I kind of forgot it when I sat in theaters. I heard it was like From Dusk Till Dawn-esque, but I was like, oh, maybe they're demons or something. And then he's like going and shooting them.
Yeah, I thought maybe they were going to be demons, especially the title Sinners. I thought
exactly.
Yeah,
they're defending a juke joint in the movie, but even just based on the commercial, I thought they were defending like a church. I thought it was going to be about a church. That was way
on
off.
the very first ad, it's like so ambiguous.
Totally.
What the it was one of those things where like I couldn't even tell if there was a supernatural element or just like a stylistically weird element.
Okay.
Then somebody at some point was like, "It has vampires." I was like, "What?" Cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stylistic choices, we've already talked about the large format and all that stuff. I mean, the thing that really blew me back, and I'm like, oh, I'm happy people are seeing it in theaters. The cinematography is beautiful, but more importantly is the sound design is phenomenal. Where I saw it, at least, it blew my mind, and like all the fucking dancing through time with your ancestors shit, like really hits with the sound design. Like, I don't know how hard that hits, like that scene hits at home or on an airplane or something.
Watching it on your phone.
But like in a big IMAX screen with big loud fucking speakers, you're like, wow, this was edited and filmed with intention. And that intention was not for you to see it on an airplane.
Hell no.
Like that through some tinny headphones. You're like, why are they fucking dancing? This is stupid.
I mean, the music was such a key part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I loved that the vampires were also a musical act.
Yeah.
Like their first song,
the Vampire Jug Band.
Yeah, the first song they sang was kind of silly, but then the second song they sing when what's her face
they're dancing out in the fucking field.
That riff.
No, first the one where they're singing like a real sad one when she goes out to just talk to them in the parking lot, and I was like, this song is beautiful.
Yeah.
But then in the field, it's funny because like now they're incorporating, because I mean, saying something's a vampire movie, it's like every different vampire movie, like the rules are a little different. In this one, it was like the vampires were kind of a hive mind in a way that I'm not sure we've really seen before.
Although this movie, and I guess I appreciate it, didn't have that super cliche line that all like 80s and 90s vampire movies or whatever, someone's like, forget everything you saw in the movies, forget everything you think you know about vampires. Here's the new rules that are exactly the same as the normal rules, but I changed one thing for this movie.
This one was really heavy. Like such a big part of the movie was about having to invite people in, but I don't think they ever even really described that rule. They were just counting on you already knowing it.
And I think that's great. I think that's like, hey, this is our fourth Spider-Man movie. We all know how the fuck vampires. He became Spider-Man. We don't even need to mention Uncle Ben anymore.
Are you sure we don't have to have like a flashback of Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed
exactly.
and flying everywhere?
Once the characters in this movie kind of looked at each other and said, this is not said, but just know this is vampires. Now they're doing that, like, scene from The Thing where they're burning the blood, but with, with garlic. Yeah. It's like, they know what this is. We don't need to tell.
You feel like that was an homage to The Thing rather than to The Faculty?
No, yeah. I do love The Faculty. Holy shit.
Wait, what do they do in The Faculty?
It's the like drug that Josh Hartnett sells.
They snort it or
it's
something?
Like pens full of powder and you got to snort it because the drug kills the aliens.
But the alien finger can like take the bottom of the pen off or whatever.
Yep. That's the Kaiser Soze reveal of what really happened in that scene. I hope Coogler's gone on the record that he loves The Faculty.
Well, Coogler probably loves The Faculty based on the interviews I've seen with him. The only two interviews I've seen was that, like, watch my movie on all these films. And the podcast interview he did where he says that he like was super inspired by the Puss in Boots movie.
I saw that.
Wait, that's
which
real?
one?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw like a post about that, but I thought someone was joking.
No, he was like,
totally
bro, I
legit.
love Puss in Boots. Also, the villain in this movie is like, I saw that and I was like, oh, their eyes need to be red and shine. Like,
I like it.
Like the recent Puss in Boots one where like death is chasing him.
Yes,
or the
correct.
First one, yeah, like that recent one was pretty badass.
yeah,
Looked
so
cool.
it seems like he takes inspiration exactly where he wants to take it from and would have no issues being like, yeah, this is based on a real Ghostbusters episode or something. Like, he has no problem with that shit. He's not trying to be like highfalutin or crazy or cool about it.
But yeah, the music, like once the vampires absorbed all the people from the club, then it's like there's that big dance sequence out in the field where like I feel like he's already incorporating like black music into it, even though he's out there like,
And it's an Irish
dancing
jig
like
or
the king
whatever.
of the dance or whatever, the
Lord of the
Dance.
Yeah,
What was that
like
guy?
Michael Flatley.
Michael Flatley.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, I think that's by no means the birthplace of vampirism. I guess that would be like Transylvania ass shit. But I don't know, like Irish people. You ever been to like a real bar in Ireland? They're always singing and shit. We don't want them to, and so they incorporated that in a big way.
I'm just picturing you grumpy at some Irish pub.
Just
like,
it's too loud in
why
here.
won't everybody shut up?
No, it was rad. I think the only like vampire rule thing I had a problem with in the movie is that as we've established, like everyone knows the vampire rules, and this guy is from Ireland, and he seems like he's from the old country, and the main vampire, I'm saying, the main bad guy, he seems like he's from the old country. He seems like he's been around vampiring for a while, and we're just gonna wait till 3 minutes before the fucking sun comes up you're still doing this? You've been around long enough to know. Give yourself a buffer.
He got distracted. Come on.
He likes living on the edge, Ed.
Every vampire has that problem, man, in movies. Like that, it's happened so many times.
But I'm saying I can expect it from the new vampires, but from him, I was surprised.
It's like that Night of the Living Dead thing where it's like you're like they're so slow, they're never gonna get to me, and you just get so comfortable with it, and then suddenly you just take a little breather and bites you on the neck. It's like you got a little too comfortable with it.
I mean, I still never fully understood the rules of these vampires. Like, there's the scene where the lady sort of explains like the hates or whatever and the difference between them and vampires. And I was like, so which are these? How does this work? Where is their soul?
I think she says like that these aren't hates, though. She straight up says like they're just vampires.
Why even bring up the hates at all? That's my note for Kugler. I was like, don't bring up a monster that's not going to appear in your movie.
I think it's maybe cultural, just to say that we have other types of things culturally, but also maybe I guess it's a little weird to have a character not question what's happening at all, though.
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't have talked about it. I mean, this also is like falls into the category of like how people are turned into vampires, where just like if you get bit, you're a vampire like moments later, and it seems like vampirism spreads so quickly that like in the thing, everyone on Earth would be a vampire like 4 days after this event.
Yeah, I forget the number they give in the thing of how long it would take.
There's like that computer simulation on their like Apple IIe.
It's pretty long. It's like I think it's like 72,000 hours, but when you look at it, you're like, that's like a lot of years.
Oh, is it? I thought it was
like something where it was like going to happen in like weeks or something because it's like exponential.
Well, I mean, it feels that way because we're like, oh, hours. Oh my god, but then someone broke it down and it was like. Yeah,
I have no time for that.
I mean, actually, they didn't even have to contain the thing; it would have been fine.
Yeah, no,
my
the thing
grandkids
is so
will
scary.
still be okay.
Yeah, I guess it's if they didn't stop to dance every 5 fucking minutes, maybe they would get some more numbers up on the board. But it seemed like dancing was priority.
In the first place, he's just on the run from those Native American vampire hunters.
And I do love that shot, but I am also like, what is he jumping down from? Like he jumped from the top of frame into frame.
And he's getting blasted by the sun, and he seems like, I mean, he's like smoking and stuff, but he's also basically fine.
He's standing on the crane, the camera.
That scene does rule, though. That's a good scene. I like
on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Spike used to run around during the day, but just with like a blanket thrown over him.
Yeah, getting all smoky.
Well, wouldn't he like black out the windows of his car or something so he could drive and like didn't that happen on Buffy?
Movies and TV shows play pretty fast and loose with it when they need to, and then other times, it's like in From Dusk Till Dawn, it's just like one little point of light hits them and they'll fucking explode.
I mean, it's like superhero movies. Like everyone's as powerful as is needed for that scene.
and then like a random mugger will sneak up behind Batman and knock him out. Like the animated show when they need it to happen.
What's the best example of this? I mean, it's the original Superman serials with George Reeve, where it's like they're shooting the gun at him and it bounces off his chest and the guy gets frustrated running out of bullets, throws it at Superman and he fucking ducks. Like that's the weirdest opening ever. It's like you just took 6 bullets to the chest and then you ducked.
I didn't want it to mess up my hair.
Anyway, so yeah, so I like that we immediately went to nitpicking. A very good movie.
It's funny, Ed, you were saying it reminded you of a Simpsons quote. I was thinking it reminds me of my favorite quote from the movie Orange County, which is such a like screenwritery inside joke, but where they're at
the
some
Mike
dumb...
White movie.
Yeah, the Mike White, Jack Black movie.
Oh wow.
Where it's like Colin Hanks and Sissy Spacek's daughter in real life, I mean, are like at some dumb frat party at this college, and she's I think it's Nat Faxon, win an Oscar for writing The Descendants. But it's just like this random cutaway thing where she's been stuck in a conversation to him and he's like telling her about his screenplays writing. And he's like, it's about vampires, ostensibly, but actually it's about the reunification of Germany, or paraphrasing the line.
Oh, you're not wrong. That's what we watched.
But like the ostensibly part is the quotable
Ostensibly,
thing.
Yeah. It's ostensibly about vampires.
Well, I can see how you got there then. Yeah, because this is a very layered metaphor, theme-ass movie. But I also think if you took all that away, it's still just a very fun
It's still
movie.
cool. I mean, the thing is, like, I would say the vampires are the least interesting part of the overall movie, but I don't know if I'd like it as much if it didn't have vampires, personally. Even if it went there.
Even if there's a replacement, I'm saying, like, there would still be the Klan. It would still be like a green room meets...
Yeah, but then we wouldn't be talking about it as much. That's part of the
It would have won an Academy Award otherwise.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
It might still win an Academy Award.
It might get nominated for some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is a legit, really good movie.
It's really good. And
the fact that it's about real stuff and has real themes. Wait, hold on, guys.
Is there a vampire? Don't let him in.
Can we pause this for a second? I'm going to relocate to a different part of the house.
Oh, yeah, sure. And we're back. Yeah, we were talking about how it's a very good movie, and that that maybe if it didn't have vampires, it would be not maybe as good. But I will say that go ahead.
Guillermo del Toro's fucking fish fucking movie won Best Picture. So
That's true,
that was a lean year. Maybe I don't.
But I
didn't love it, didn't hate it.
Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture, and I feel like Sinners was better than Black Panther.
Get Out won, and that's got a crazy, like, bordering. I mean, it's not supernatural, but it's crazy sci-fi twist.
I will say this: Sinners is a big enough hit right now. I don't know if by the time the Academy Awards come around, if people are still going to remember. But I think if it's a big enough hit, if it's a culturally enough important, like everyone went to see it movie, it'll pop up. Because I think Best Picture is like 10,000 you can do now. You can nominate 10,000 movies.
What?
So,
really?
Yeah.
And yet no nomination for Sonic 3.
Guys, what the fuck? You need to see if they'll do it this year.
Best animated? Come on.
Honestly, though, maybe during this conversation, do you think the biggest mistake you guys made on Sonic 3 was not putting a vampire in it?
I do now, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Shadow should have turned out to be a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the studio on that?
Paramount.
There you go. They cared about the movie. They marketed it. They were proud of it. You got to work for Warner Brothers, where they don't give a shit about it after it comes out and hope the TikTok picks it up.
Okay, I have some more vampire-related questions. Can we parse the logic of this movie a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
So it's like, basically, once you become a vampire, you're pure evil instantly, seemingly, right?
Well, I think that's the hive mind thing you were talking about.
Right, but then it's like, once Stack becomes a vampire, because he's given Smoke the, like, come on, join us, it's better in here, that it seems like he's lying.
It does.
But then at the end of the movie, like, the whole movie's like, vampires are pure evil. But then at the end, when they go and see Buddy Guy, it's more like actually vampires are pretty chill dudes when it gets down to it. Is it that they were evil while they were being controlled by the white guy, and now that the white guy's gone, now they're just chill?
Yeah, they have their own autonomy.
They
had decades to grow.
They did have decades to grow. to buy those sweaters.
Well, it was a great sweater.
It's a great sweater. I think I was going to say, oh, well, he, once they kill the white guy, he's chill now. But I think his brother let him live before they killed the white guy outside.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been pure evil. Yeah. So you can't, I guess, use the logic of once he's no longer under the hive mind of that guy, he's chill.
I mean, it seems like maybe Stack and what's her face, Haley, were like not really that evil the whole time. I don't know.
No, they seemed pretty into it outside.
Like, during the big fight, they're like, "We got to get out of here," and they like run out of the building. And I was like, "Why did they do that?" Like, it didn't.
That's true.
Track the logic.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I didn't think too much about it. At that point, I was like, "Wait, there's vampires in this?"
Can I pitch my alternate ending to this movie? By the way,
yeah. Wait, alternate ending or alternate 19th fucking post-credit sequence?
It was only one post-credit sequence that should have been part of the movie.
There's 2 post-credit sequences.
Was there? Wait.
At the absolute end, there's like. You hear like another song, like a full like blues song played.
But no, video.
No, there's video. Like they're in the church. It's the character Buddy Guy when he's younger, and he like plays a cover.
Oh, shit.
He plays a cover, a full
totally
cover.
Gotta see the movie again.
I left after the first ending. Oh no.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know there was one even later. I thought it was just like, oh, cool, it's the 1990s.
I didn't know either, but I was like, the guy worked for Marvel. They probably.
I feel like we should have gone even further in the future to see what those 2 crazy vampires were up to next.
Yeah, we just suddenly cut to like they're in some sort of like cybernetic war against the robots.
They're 2 of the hosts on The Voice or something.
But so when we got to Buddy Guy, like it was like one shot of him playing the guitar, and you're like, oh, this guy turned out to be Buddy Guy. Then it's like the credits start, and you're like, that was the end. And then Buddy Guy's credited. I'm like, they gave him an acting credit for that, and then we come back for this whole scene. But part of me was like, he knows that there are vampires out there. He's prepared. Perhaps Buddy Guy has rigged his blues joint up as a vampire trap, and he's gonna like, flip some switch and turn on some solar lights like Blade, and actually he's got some kind of a weapon hidden inside his guitar.
Got your ass.
Waiting for this the whole time.
Yeah, none of these people in my band are real. They just fall. They're just cardboard cutouts that fall forward.
This band has been a front for 40 years.
They're just my stakeholders.
Pat and I did have a movie idea that, are we all familiar with Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
How dare you ask us that?
Just do a movie where it's revealed that the whole band is just a bunch of vampire hunters. Or
werewolf hunters, yeah.
Although you also need silver to kill vampires and some vampires.
That's true. They could be just battling monsters in general, but like the band...
It was supposed to be werewolves.
Is like a cover for them to travel the world having these adventures. But... So you got to be proficient in vampire and werewolf hunting, but you also have to be able to like play your instrument good. It's like a similar concept as Buckaroo Banzai. It's
just some guys at like a stage being, "These are the heaviest amps I've ever moved in here." You know what I mean? It's like, no questions, don't worry about it. There's only 2 problems I have with that alternate ending. Is
my idea is bad. I'm going to go out on a limb and say,
but that is the idea, though. I'm not like still waiting for it.
No, that was
okay.
That was the end.
Okay, my only problem with that is that we mentioned it before we got on the air, but Return to Salem's Lot, we've already have like old ass guy hunting a vampire, and it's the best because he's actually just a Nazi hunter, and it's amazing.
Played by director Sam Fuller, right?
Yeah, Sam Fuller and Moriarty get after
Michael Moriarty.
Not Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. No relation.
They should have done a movie where Michael Moriarty played Moriarty.
Maybe they did.
They probably did. It seems like he was doing. And for a guy who's like just Bill Burr with a time machine, like he did have a lot of work.
Bill Burr would feel about that.
No, Bill Burr should play Moriarty. I wish Michael Moriarty was big enough that we would get a Bill Burr biopic.
Now I want to remake Q the Winged Serpent, but with
Bill Burr
playing the Michael Moriarty part.
I that's how I watched it, dude. Like I watched Q after already knowing Bill Burr, so I'm like, that's just Bill Burr. So there's that, and then I forgot the other reason why. Oh, the other reason is nice. The other reason is nice. I am glad there was no real undercut to the sentiment that it was the best day of all their lives.
No, yeah, that's why my idea would have ruined the
yeah. That I thought was like
you're not selling this idea, Pat.
Really undercut yourself there, man.
Gave up.
I get that because I prefer not undercutting stuff because I so often undercut things. So it's like I look for the undercut or I do the undercut. And so when I see someone not do it, I'm like, oh, it's brave son of a bitch. And it's like, it works better every time. Like, just to be sentimental was really nice.
But like at the same, Buddy Guy, he's been walking around his whole life. He became a big music star, and he knows that there are fucking vampires out there. He thinks about that every day.
For all we know, every one of his songs in that universe was like, "The real vampires are real."
God, another
like
vampire song, dude.
And it was like, really? Nobody's even asking for these vampire songs. It's like, they're going to be using them one day because if you listen to all these albums in a row, it tells you how to find them, how to get rid of them.
I love it.
Yeah. So Jackson, you haven't said much. Did you hate this film?
No, I liked it. I mean, the one
I'm sick of talking about vampires after your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is sick of talking about
4
vampires.
hours talking about vampires the other week. No, I mean, the main movie I was thinking of watching it was the great Ernest Dickerson's
Demon Knight.
Yeah, I was thinking about Demon Knight too.
Shit, I haven't seen it.
I just rewatched that, or I put it on last night in preparation for this, and man, that movie is so fucking good. Well,
I haven't seen it, and I'm sure some people who are listening haven't seen it. Give us like the quick, what's the run? What is this movie about?
So it does.
You have to explain it in the Crypt Keeper voice.
yeah. Oh, another. Wasn't he on 12DD?
Yeah,
he was the voice of the Crypt Keeper, John Cassier.
Yeah, there we go. No, I mean it's
all connected.
It does a similar kind of thing where it's like, apart from the Crypt Keeper intro, the start of it is like, oh, there's like a chase and you're following, William Sadler, who is the bad guy in every movie you've seen up to that point, and square-jawed, super handsome Billy Zane chasing after him. And then you're like, oh, is it like some kind of crime movie? Like, did this guy do something bad? And then, you get a little further into it, and the big reveal is like, oh, he's there to arrest him. And then they find out there's like something kind of shady about the Billy Zane character. He ends up like punching a hole through a woman's face, and you reveal he's a demon.
Whoa.
Or through and it's like,
I like that response.
Well, a woman's face was not at all what I thought the end of that sentence was going to be.
No, I know. Well, yeah, or I think it's a guy's face. Sorry,
I'm out now. I'm out.
Anyway,
not that interested anymore.
But anyway, like it's if you didn't have the intro with the Crypt Keeper, it would be very much like one of these like huge left turn genre shifts. And like one of the things I really liked in that movie, which I wish they did a little more of in this, is every person you think is going to make it out of that movie, the order is like completely fucked. You're just like, oh, like CCH Pounder is probably going to die pretty early. And it's like, nope, she makes it like basically to the end of the movie. Jada Pinkett Smith is like the heroine. It's just all the people.
Jada Pinkett Smith. So this is like a newer movie, at least from the 90s on.
Well, it was pre the Smith part of her name.
Yeah.
But it sort of falls into the same subgenre as Sinners, in that ultimately it's about like this motley crew, like holed up in a place where they're like, how do we defend ourselves from the supernatural monsters that are trying to get in here?
Gotcha.
The demons can't get in because they have like this sort of like protection barrier from this sort of like magic potion that William Sadler like puts down, and it like seals off the doors, but it's like he's running out of it. And I did sort of wish there was like something like that, rather than just like you just say, hey,
get in here,
come on in, and that counts as your invite, and then they can all enter.
That's the mythology.
I
was about to say, yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like it just kind of was just like, oh, okay, just one person went crazy.
I mean, that part of the movie felt a little rushed,
I think,
understandably.
I think there was no finite amount of fucking magic juice they had to use on the doors, because the way you described that other movie, and in some ways you could describe this movie, is, as people are locked in a fucking place and they're surrounded by a monster. But this movie isn't that. It isn't that until it is for a minute. And I feel like these other movies, including Dusk Till Dawn and stuff, there is no world I give a shit outside of that fucking sin, that theater, that juke joint, that fucking
titty twister.
The titty twister. Yeah, like whatever it is, my world is inside of this for the next however long, where like I said, I was really fucking glued to my to my seat with like just the world building of a world we're never gonna spend any more time in at the end of this movie, which was upsetting a little bit to me. There's a fucking motorcycle outside. It's very annoying, but it's on. It's on.
I can't even hear it.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
Well, it might have been a dog. That said,
Dog riding a motorcycle.
yeah, I think it was a dog riding. It was Poochie's going back to his planet. No, so yeah, I bring this up because what did you guys think about the first hour and change the movie? Like it's one of those things where afterwards I found out that like the Asian family owning the two stores across from each other is like a real thing. It's like based on a real like place in the South somewhere. I forgot what the town
just
was.
Based on like a real family that owned two stores across. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
so
like that's like a thing like all Asian families own two stores on opposite sides of the street.
No, and I think the most interesting thing that I think this show, I don't remember if this movie does that in this or if it's highlighted in a way that I noticed, but I think in the real one, this like Asian family like who owned the two stores, they had like a whites only store directly across the street from the blacks store. Oh. And so, but then I thought about that because there is a thing where it's like, hey, go get your dad or whatever. And the girl has to go to the store across the street to get the other parent, the mom to make the sign. And so I was like, but I didn't see any of that kind of like in your face imagery about whether or not it was segregated. But I was like, oh, so that's really interesting. Like he was pulling from all these like real historical things about that time period and opening a business and owning land and who would have been the shopkeepers at that time in that part of the country. And so I was like, oh, there's a lot of like historically smart and interesting and cool things that I would have to look up later. And then vampires, which I already knew about.
I mean, it had like a super long act one, which I feel like probably like if we wrote an act one that long, we'd get a ton of pushback. But Coogler had total control. So he was just like, fuck off, I'm doing this. And it totally works because it was all really interesting. And you were with the characters and just like stuff like haggling over whatever, or like when he gets the little girl to like watch his truck.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's like, you should haggle with me, like demand more.
Mm-hmm. which I think is also great. Probably on point for the themes they're building, especially since right after that, the Asian storekeeper lady haggles with him like super hard. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff for me that was great in terms of, if you and I wrote any of those scenes, they'd be like, we don't need to waste time and money on the girl haggle. You can just see it inside. But also we had to shoot those guys outside to show they're serious, which is part of that little girl moment. The only part that didn't track for me, or at least I misread it or something, just didn't understand. I feel like, it's been a little while since I've seen the movie, I feel like the cousin or the nephew or whatever the fuck it is like asking about how the Jordans' father died. He's like, oh, could you finally tell me now? And he's like, oh yeah, my brother beat the shit out of him, killed him or whatever. And then like I want to say the very next scene was the other Michael B. Jordan like at that grave outside, and like I didn't know that was for his kid at all.
No, we weren't supposed to know at first. You like figured that out later, I think.
Because it's got a little kid hand and stuff, but I genuinely thought it was his father's grave because they literally just went from I killed my dad to someone at a grave. And I was like, oh, I guess he feels bad for killing his dad. He still has remorse in some way for that. And now but also, why would you put a little kid's hand on your dad's grave? I was so confused. Thank God that woman came in to be like, what are you doing here? Because I was like, I can't be confused for one more second.
Does dad have a tiny hand?
That's all this shit. I was like, dude,
it's like
man.
Chris Elliott in Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
Take the little one. It's stronger.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I thought it was like, oh, you beat the shit out of your dad, but he was like a little kid. Like, that's not that impressive now.
You can write that movie, Ed.
Yeah, but so that was the only part that I was like kind of confused, but then I figured it out at the end because then later I was like, why is there a baby at this battle right now? This Tommy gun battle.
Smoke and Stack just being gangsters the way they were. They reminded me of like the Shelby brothers in Peaky Blinders too. They had the same backstory, being like World War I heroes who came back, but they're part of like a despised minority, so they got to become gangsters instead.
Yeah. It feels very Fargo too, like Fargo the show. Like those could have been Fargo characters.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I want to see a vampire season of Fargo.
I mean, I want to see a Fargo season that takes place in the 20s, like the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul were like big gangster cities.
Well, didn't they have
during Prohibition?
What was the Chris Rock series? Wasn't that like from the 60s or something? Or the Chris Rock season was, I think, like a period piece.
It was a period piece, but it wasn't It wasn't in the Twin Cities. It was in Kansas City, I think.
Okay.
It was in like the 50s or whatever. I want specifically the 1920s.
Yeah, we are
in
getting
St. Paul.
real off topic of vampires.
No, we're not, because we got into this.
Fargo, the TV show season idea.
But it came with the vampires. You know what I'm saying? It came. I mean, if you want to talk vampires, we can talk about the kid from The Big Green and Sandlot playing a vampire in X-Files.
That was a good episode.
Patrick Renna.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was one of the all-time great episodes of X-Files.
I like that you're like, if you want to talk vampires, we can talk about
one episode of X-Files.
One episode of the X-Files.
Yeah.
Guys, well, I mean, like, okay, so let's round this.
Near Dark was the other vampire movie that Sinners made me think about.
I love Near Dark, and people hate on it hard for some reason.
They do?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, people do.
You should not be friends with those people, Ed.
People find that movie boring.
I like those people, dude.
Yeah,
These people are
they find it boring.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
They don't. No.
They hate our way of life. They hate our way of life, dude. They don't like that we like to watch that movie. Isn't it soundtrack by Tangerine Dream?
It is.
Yeah, it fucking rules.
Yeah, that movie slaps, and they fucking
But like just like putting vampires sort of in like
The South.
that sort of like very American, wide open spaces kind of thing, like that sort of vampire western.
Well, that's Salem's Lot, right?
The other Josh Miller exploding in the sunlight.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Come
other
on.
Josh Miller, your old nemesis.
The goat.
Okay, well, let's since we're getting towards the end of where we want to take up your time. So we've all seen Sinners. We all like Sinners. We have complaints about it because that's just what you do when you leave a theater. You're going to talk about movies and just
Mine. I don't think were even complaints. They're just questions. They're
exactly.
just discussion topics.
It was very fun. I'm excited that there's obviously there's the idea that an original rated R movie did well. That's always good for everyone. But now where would you? It's too fresh. But I'm saying where are we putting Sinners on like I would watch it again, but that doesn't happen with movies that often these days. I do want to see it again, maybe even in theaters before it leaves. But like, is it going to be a top 5 vampire movie for you guys, or is that not even anywhere near that?
I don't know, because it's
new.
funny because like of movies that have vampires in them, From Dusk Till Dawn is probably one of my favorites. But if you really wanted me to rank like my favorite vampire movies, I would almost disqualify it in a sense. Because I'm like, I don't know. It's like not because it's basically just they get trapped with vampires and then halfway through the movie, then it just turns into an endless action scene. Like it's not, even though it does do stuff of like Tom Savini getting bit and like trying to hide it and stuff. So it's kind of doing a lot. That was
like
trope.
A bit more like a zombie movie bit, really.
I mean, it's not really running through like what I think of as classic vampire movie tropes and things. Gotcha. In the same way that even kind of like a modern, like Fright Night, which is, a classic vampire movie because it's modern day and it's in the suburbs and it's kind of subverting things, but it's still doing all the like basic vampire movie things. And I kind of feel the same way.
Fright Night has got the great like sort of seduction storyline going on with the girlfriend.
I mean, Sinners is sexy, so it has that vampire thing of it.
They are both sexy.
Vampires aren't really sexy.
Yeah, but you're right.
Humans are boning all over the place.
There's not a lot of agency. I guess this movie doesn't give a lot of agency to the idea of we need to defeat vampires, and I think that's what makes a vampire movie a little bit. Where I got to find a mentor, I got to make tools, I need to build plans. We have a vampire problem, and where this was like, our bar is not having the opening we'd hoped for. It's kind of
opening a small business movie.
The Native American vampire hunters were going to like come back in Act 3.
Yeah, that's.
I wonder though, like now that this is such a big hit.
No, we're going to get our like Furiosa like prequel movie.
I forgot they existed, honestly, guys, until you just said that.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, they're coming back and then I was like, nope.
Like in the morning, maybe they were going to show up and help clean up or whatever. I wonder now this is such a big hit if there will be some kind of sequel or maybe a spin-off about them.
I'm saying our Furiosa prequel.
I mean, they're going to do the like 90s SATT sequel with Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld.
Maybe.
Where he's wearing like the Dwayne Wayne flip-up sunglasses.
I would love to see that. That cool like Belle Biv DeVoe look that he had.
I just don't know what that is. Like, what is that? What would that movie be? It would just be them two being like, should we go see Buddy Guy today? And they go, no, not yet.
Maybe they got to fight some other kind of monsters.
Well, no, I mean, it'd probably be like right after that. You know, it'd be like, oh, like what are their, you know, maybe it's like a getaway kind of thing, like with Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw. Like there's
it has to have a musical element. So.
And it has to have like thematic elements about race in America, which I feel like we're not qualified to come up with that, but Coogler is.
But what a good time to do it though, with like the Rodney King stuff that was right around then.
Yeah, dude. Those white cops were all vampires, probably, when you think about it.
Well, in that case, they'd be buds. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna do a Some Like It Hot situation where they have to make believe they're ladies at a Copacabana style.
Wow, left field pitch.
Well, I only thought about it because I don't know if you guys have seen this film.
Some Like It
Hot. I mean, really seen it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So do you remember the opening of Some Like It Hot, which fucking rules?
I mean, we're screenwriter extraordinaires, Ed.
Yeah, it's true. So you should know. Like, then you remember the opening of Some Like It Hot. Like they witness like a fucking gangland
the
mafia murder
massacre, right?
Yeah, and it's like that movie opens and it whomps from the get, dude, and it's a totally different movie until it becomes a comedy. Like it really opens hard as hell, and there's like violence and awesome shots of that like car, and you don't know what the fuck's going on, and then they're like Mrs. Doubtfire in the rest of the movie, you know, drive by fucking fruitings and shit the rest of the film. But like it opens so hard, and I actually did think of that movie at the opening of this movie because it opens hard, like the dude showing up in the car, like busted up ass car, and he's holding like half a guitar, and like, what the fuck has happened to this dude? So yeah, I like who was it Brian De Palma who just fucking hates any movie that opens with the skyline. He's like, it's the worst possible way you can open a movie. Like,
what?
Don't just fucking show us this. He's like, it's your one opportunity to like just confuse people. I guess it's your one opportunity to do something, and it's like you can open like I think because it was De Palma who did the Blow Up remake, the Blowout, which fucking rules. And that movie opens with a fucking different movie entirely, and then you realize they're editing it. Yeah. And that's very like his thing.
Oh, that piece of guitar at the beginning, I thought at the end that he was going to stake the vampire with the guitar neck. Me too.
But he didn't.
I just want to make a movie that opens with a skyline shot that's fucking awesome to prove him wrong.
It's on a different universe too. The city, it's like, here we are in downtown De Palma. Like De Palma, fucking Minnesota.
Absolutely.
So it's insult to injury. Well, anyway, this was fun. I think we all saw a movie separately. And then we talked about it for a podcast that has nothing to do with movies and less to do with vampires. But it just felt weird to not talk about it. So thanks for taking the time, guys. And next time, yeah, thank you. Next time, Chris will be here to have some semblance of like organization because I don't know how to do that.
I think you did great, Ed.
I think you're a podcast host extraordinaire.
Well, thanks. Yeah. So everyone, this is the first installment and only installment of Evening with the Fang Boys, recorded at 5 p.m. with sunlight in every one of our windows. Just to keep the vampires away.
I think we got to do it again. Just keep talking about vampire movies.
Well, yeah, I think I'm happy to do it. And if people like this, let us know. If people head it, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if they head it.
If people head it, then now I'm keeping it, you jerks. Yeah. If people head it, also they'll let us know. So
all right. They're going to want to hear more of our ideas for Fargo seasons.
Oh, maybe we can start just doing that. Fang Boys on Fargo? The Fang Boys on Fargo is going to be top the fucking charts on iTunes soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out. I know you guys are all real busy. So, and that's real. I said that. That was not sarcasm. I know you guys are really busy. All right. I'm going to hit stop here.
All right.
We did it.
Well, that was the Fang Boy Show. We hope you had a good time, 'cause that was the Fang Boy Show. Where if you didn't, it's because editing wasn't really an option. Oh, how Ed wishes it was an option. But hey, it's just for you guys, our closest friends, so be nice, 'cause we're doing our best. Now let's take out the fake fangs and skedaddle before Chris notices.